we'll be installing an Alpine INE-F904D, which is a 9-inch floating head unit from Alpine. So this is the stereo. What it has a built-in SAT-Nav unit, as well as CarPlay and Android Auto, Bluetooth as usual, DAB radio and normal radio. Completely touchscreen, a very good quality piece of stereo. So this is going to go into this Transporter T6. So if you have a look, it's just got the standard stereo in there at the moment. And we're going to be doing reverse camera. So if you have a look at the back of this tailgate, there's no camera at all. So we're going to be mounting camera just here. The additional thing the customer wants is a shark fin aerial to go on the roof, purely because the standard aerial, this is actually in the wing mirror, and over time they start to get really poor. So you start getting poor DAB reception, sometimes poor terrestrial reception, but it's mainly DAB, and purely because the actual aerial's in the wing mirror, water gets into it, and over time a lot of the terminal starts getting corroded, and then that starts affecting the actual quality of the reception. So the customer wants an external aerial, brand new, to give him the DAB, the FM, and also the GPS tracking part of the sat-nav or the stereo. So it's all external, and so we're going to mount that so he should get a much better reception with that in there. So we're going to be cracking on with this now. Right, here we are in our new fab room. So this is the stereo that we're going to be installing, and this is how it comes as. So you have the actual main deck, which is here, and that's the cage, that's the screen. So what it has to do is all needs to be assembled, and here's all the fitting components to assemble the actual screen to the actual deck. That's the microphone that needs to be mounted. If you have a look at here, you've got the actual wiring kit. That is needed if you're going to run external amplifiers. We're not going to do it in this case, but we're still going to plug it in there just in case you ever want to upgrade in a future date, and you know that's going to get lost if we don't actually do that. This bit here is needed for the actual mic, if you need to put the mic in there, which is what we're going to do, and the steering wheel control as well. So that's required for that. This is required for the reverse camera, which is what we're going to be installing. So that's going to go in there, and that's the main wiring loom itself. That's a GPS antenna, but we fit an external GPS antenna, so that probably won't be needed. And then you've got the main harness adapter, which is a steering wheel control adapter, which also gives us a reverse trigger feed as well as ignition feed through the CAN, which is what that block converts information for. And we're going to retain his factory USB port. So this is basically USB port retention leads. So that's that there. And these are like aerial adapters, but we're not going to use that because we've got the external aerial that's going to be mounted, which is this one here, and that's a shark fin aerial, which we'll show you once it's all installed. And this is just a fascia kit, so this is basically to tidy it all up. It's going to have a pocket there, but then obviously the stereo is going to fit in there, and you're just going to have that screen that's going to go over the pocket. He wants to go about halfway from this so he can still like slide a phone in there, but it's not going to be completely visible, so it won't be so high. But that's what we're going to be doing. So that's all the components that's required to fit the stereo only. Right, all the wiring's all been led to the back of the stereo, so that's all been complete. So now what we are going to do is just plug the stereo in, make sure it all works. So what we've done, we've attached the stereo here. You have to put this plate on, otherwise the screen does not turn on. So you have to put that on there. But we haven't actually secured it properly yet. We're going to be doing that later. But I want to just make sure it all works. So that's the actual fascia that goes in there. And as you can see, we put the cage on that. So I'm just going to slide it all in until it locks. So I'm going to plug everything into it now. So I'm going to plug the USB, which goes right in there. Goes all the way in. Let's plug here. this plug here. So these plugs, I have attachments for it, for the reverse camera, for the steering wheel controls. This is for the GPS. Any RCAs. We're not going to be fitting any amplifiers, but we'll still plug this in there just in case in future if you actually want to upgrade, at least it's plugged in there and we don't lose that loom. So hence why that's all plugged in there. And this is the main power feed. So that's plugged in. Down there is the aerial. Do the aerial. And the last one is the DAB aerial. So just plug that in there. So that's everything connected to it now. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to screw these into the bracket. So then it just secures the stereo. Right. There is a faceplate that's going to have to go over this with the air vents, but I can't do that with this screen in place. So I'm going to have to take the screen out, but not the stereo, the screen out, put that all in and then finally mount it. But I just want to do it at this position now just to test it, make sure everything works. So turn it on. So just waiting for everything to boot up. So we turn the volume down, so just make sure steering wheel controls work. And DB with Alpine use does take time for it to all seek and find everything. It's found it quite quickly actually. So that's how you wire the stereo into it. What we're going to do now, I'm going to pull the stereo back out, just so the screen back out, not the stereo, and then tidy it all up. So I need to put the rest of the fascia in. So I'm going to crack on and do that. Right, it's all back together again. And that is the shark fin aerial, which is on the roof, which is going to give a much better reception on DAB and FM compared to the wing mirror aerial that they designed this from factory. If you come around here, we'll show the reverse camera. Right, it's all now installed. As you can see, the trim panel's back on, which has the air vents either side. And as you can see just from there, you know that can't be fitted with the screen still in place. So after I test it, pull the screen back out and then basically put that panel back in. What we've done a little pocket in there, so it just tidies up a little bit. It's not a big pocket, the customer didn't want that to be high up, so but just enough that if you did want to put his phone into it, you can do, like so. Let's turn it all on. So while it's firing up, the steering wheel control still works, all the adapters in there for that. And I'll just show you what's what once it's booted up. So let's turn the volume down, as you can see. Well, this has a built-in navigation system, as you can see from there. So it's not actually using your phone as a sat-nav, it's all built into the system. That's the difference between this and the other Halo products. So if you go onto the menu there, you could go into radio. Now that's just normal terrestrial radio, just scan as you please. If you go back into that again, you've got DAB, and again you can scan. On DAB, well, sorry, not on DAB, anything, the actual skip buttons here also work, as you can see, skipping along. So, and the steering wheel controls for the volume also works. We fit that reverse camera, so put into reverse. You see you've got the video image in the back. What's going all funny there is our tiles with the lights. And this unit, like I mentioned before, also has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And to do that, this is not wireless, the SAT-Nav unit. It hasn't got a wireless CarPlay in it. So what we've done, we've fitted the USB to the factory mounted where the factory USB normally goes. So we're not put a fly lead in there or anything like that. So it just keeps it nice and neat. And then what we'll do, we'll plug the phone into it just to show you that side of it. Plug it in the right way around. So my phone is now charging. If I unlock it, then CarPlay would activate. So just go into there, got Apple CarPlay there, and now I've got CarPlay. So I can play my music on there, go into Google Maps if I want to use it. So it's a little bit unresponsive only because I've still got the film on there, and I'd rather have the customer peel that off rather than myself. There's that little satisfaction thing about peeling something off on a new product. So that's why it's a little bit unresponsive. It's only purely because that film is still there. So you go into your normal all the functions that CarPlay has, or shall I say all the apps that's compatible with CarPlay, it's all on there. And if there's other apps that you have that is compatible, that will show up as well. If you want to go back into Alpine, you just press Alpine, goes back into there, and then if you want to go onto radio again, you just flick into radio, and there you have radio. If you want to go back into the SAT-Nav, the navigation system, that's not on your phone, but actually on the system, there's a button there, which is like a quick button to get you straight there. And there you are, this there. And on there, then you could basically search for any addresses that you want to go to, and there's parameters that you could set up regarding routes and normal thing, pretty much how normal navigation systems work. So all works through that. The benefit of having a built-in sat-nav is the fact that if you haven't downloaded the maps on your phone and you lost reception on your phone, at least with the built-in sat-nav, it doesn't matter about phone reception, you're still going to have the guidance there, and you're going to not lose coverage at all. So that's the benefit of having a unit with a built-in sat-nav. The price point does go up because of having that. Ordinarily, if you're not using it that often, you may just want to go for something that has a CarPlay system and then you use your phone as a sat-nav. It just depends on your usage and how often you use it. So there you have it. That is the Alpine INE-F904D, which has the built-in sat-nav, has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, which is wired, has DAB radio, Bluetooth, and we installed a reverse camera to it, and also an external DAB aerial and FM aerial with GPS as well, it's all in one combined, just to give it a stronger reception to this Volkswagen Transporter T6.